Most welcome to Historiespanarna History Reconnaissance. This is self-propelled howitzer in Vietnam, M108 and M109, with the US 11th Armored Cavalry and the 35th Artillery Regiments. The M108 howitzer was an American self-propelled 105mm howitzer, first introduced in the early 1960s. It was phased out early in the Vietnam War and replaced by the M109s with a 155mm gun, considered better fitted for modern war.
The 155 howitzer is a self-propelled, completely armor-enclosed vehicle that throws a 95-pound projectile, a maximum range of 14,600 meters. It's a very good weapon, very accurate.
Now, this being a self-propelled gun, it's mounted almost like a tank chassis, isn't it?
That's right, sir. It's not a tank, but it looks like a tank, and it'll go just about any place a tank will go.
And at what speed?
It has a cross-country speed of about 25 miles an hour and has a road speed of about 40 miles an hour.
The first Australian task force was a brigade-sized formation which commanded Australian and New Zealand Army units deployed to South Vietnam between 1966 and 1972. It was based in a rubber plantation at Nui Dat. The first ATF was independent. However, US forces provided considerable support, close air support, helicopter gunships, and 6 155mm M109 self-propelled howitzers from the US 35th Artillery Regiment that were permanently attached at Nui Dat.
This is Major Lance Logan reporting from Vietnam. This morning I was privileged to stand in, or sit in if you like, on a shoot by the A Battery of the 2nd Howitzer Battalion, 35th Artillery. This is an American unit of self-propelled guns, 155 howitzers, who are in support of the Australian Task Force here at Nui Dat. And with me at the microphone I have Captain Glenn Urey, the battery commander. Well, Glenn, that was a magnificent shoot I witnessed this morning. I was most impressed with your gun crew. The section commander, Sergeant, big fella, he's from where?
That's Sergeant Tex Tracy. He's from southern part of Texas in the United States. He's one of the better chief of sections in the battery. They're all good, but he's the one that stands out with his big mustache and so forth.
Yes, he looks pretty much as like an Englishman. You wear a pretty fair sort of a mustache there, too.
Well, I've taken advantage of the opportunity of being with the Australians. They all wear one, most of them.
This calm atmosphere at Nui Dat in the beginning of 1966 would not last. In the fall, this would be the scene of a major battle, and we will soon cover that. But first, let's do some preventive maintenance with the 2nd Battalion of the 35th Artillery.
This is the American Forces Vietnam Network. This is AFVN, serving the American fighting man 24 hours a day from the Delta to the DMZ. With transmitters in Quang Tri, Da Nang, Quy Nhon, Pleiku, and Nha Trang. With the key network station in Saigon, Vietnam. Down in the Delta, areas with plenty of water, be extra careful that your lubrication does not get contaminated. Always use a clean lube. Take care of your weapon, and your weapon will take care of you.
Muzzle and 155 barrel done. And that's just one part of the preventive maintenance. Now for some much needed TLC for the engine and drivetrain. The South Vietnamese unpaved roads and dirt tracks sure took their toll. The Battle of Long Tan was fought between Viet Cong and People's Army of Vietnam units and elements of the 1st Australian Task Force. D Company of the 6th Battalion, Royal Australian Regiment, was hard-pressed by attacks, taking heavy casualties. But they held their line thanks to massive artillery support. 3,198 rounds of 105 ammunition were fired by the Australian and New Zealand field guns, and 242 rounds of 155mm high explosive by the American M109s of the 35th Artillery. The date of the battle is known in Australia as Long Tan Day, also known as Vietnam Veterans Remembrance Day, the national day of commemoration of the Vietnam War. In 1967, M109 howitzers of the 1st Marine Division fired almost daily at North Vietnamese artillery positions on the other side of the demilitarized zone, separating the two Vietnams. And during the Tet Offensive in 1968, they provided critical fire support for the Marines fighting in Hue in northern South Vietnam. May 18, 1969, parts of the Viet Cong 5th Division attacked Xuan Loc Base Camp, also known as Firebase Husky. It was defended by the US 7th Battalion, 9th Artillery Regiment, and the 2nd Battalion, 35th Artillery Regiment. The attackers penetrated the perimeter, but were eventually driven out by airstrikes and a unit of the 11th Armored Cavalry Regiment. Plain English, the artillerymen used weapons at hand, firing their howitzers point blank and 50 cals at the assaulting enemy. M109s were largely roadbound, had limited river crossing capability, and are not heli-transportable. Still, Army and Marine M109s were in virtually every battle in northern and central South Vietnam, defending bases and providing counter-battery fire.
That's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.